The 1970s and 1980s were a turbulent time in Africa, a continent caught in the crossfire of Cold War politics. Amid this geopolitical chessboard, Libya, under the leadership of Muammar Gaddafi, sought to expand its influence across the region. Armed with oil wealth and an aggressive agenda, Gaddafi supported revolutionary movements, financed insurgencies, and sought to destabilize regimes that opposed his vision of a pan-African unity under Libyan dominance. This posed a direct threat to French interests, particularly in its former colonies. To counter this growing influence, the DGSE launched Operation Harpin. Operation Harpin was a long-term mission aimed at monitoring, countering, and, when necessary, neutralizing Libyan activities in Africa. It was a covert operation that blended espionage, diplomacy, and clandestine military interventions. The DGSE's task was to gather intelligence on Libyan-backed groups, disrupt their operations, and support regimes aligned with French interests. The operation began with a network of agents embedded across the continent. From Chad to Niger, from Sudan to Central African Republic, DGSE operatives worked undercover as diplomats, businessmen, and humanitarian workers. They infiltrated Libyan-backed networks, intercepted communications, and tracked the flow of weapons and funds. The goal was to understand Gaddafi's plans and stop them before they could take root. One of the focal points of Operation Harpin was Chad, a country that became a battleground for Libyan ambitions. Gaddafi had backed rebel forces in northern Chad, hoping to annex the mineral-rich Aouzou Strip. The DGSE worked closely with the Chadian government, providing intelligence, training, and logistical support to counter the insurgency. French-backed Chadian forces launched a series of counter-offensives, pushing back Libyan-backed rebels and reclaiming lost territory. The DGSE's role extended beyond intelligence gathering. In some cases, operatives facilitated covert arms shipments to friendly regimes, ensuring they had the means to resist Libyan aggression. In others, they conducted psychological operations to discredit Gaddafi's allies and sow discord within their ranks. The DGSE also worked to expose Libyan involvement on the international stage, rallying diplomatic support against Gaddafi's regime. By the mid-1980s, the tide began to turn. France, emboldened by the success of its covert operations, launched direct military interventions in Chad under Operation Manta and later Operation Epervier. These missions, supported by DGSE intelligence, dealt significant blows to Libyan ambitions. Gaddafi's forces were pushed back, and his influence in the region waned. Operation Harpin was not without its challenges. The DGSE faced the constant risk of exposure, and its agents operated in hostile environments where capture could mean death. The operation also raised ethical questions, as covert actions often blurred the lines between diplomacy and interference. Despite these challenges, Operation Harpin was considered a success. It safeguarded French interests, maintained the balance of power in the region, and limited Libya's expansionist agenda. For the DGSE, it was a demonstration of their ability to operate in the shadows, navigating the complexities of Cold War geopolitics with precision and resolve. Today, Operation Harpin is remembered as a defining chapter in the DGSE's history. It showcased the agency's role as a defender of French influence in a rapidly changing world and highlighted the enduring challenges of countering regional threats in an interconnected era. The operation remains a testament to the delicate art of espionage, where victories are often won in silence and shadows.